Resident Commissioners. Tinubu launches 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem. Court sacks Gandhi as Song gives directives to Makinde-led government. Supreme Court to rule on Atiku Obi's petitions October 26. And U.S. judge to release Tinubu's FBI files on October 30. Details now. The world news begins with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approving the appointment of 9 resident electoral commissioners of the Independent National Electoral Commission. VOP News gathered that the new appointments were made known in a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngulali, today. Ngulali stated that Tinubu expects the new appointees to abide by the highest standards of professional and ethical conduct in the discharge of their duties, in accordance with his determination to facilitate the establishment of a new and sustainable standard of transparent, fair and conflict-free electoral conduct in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the President today presided over the emblem appeal launch for the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. VOP News gathered that the emblem launch was held at the State House in Abuja. Speaking at the launch, President Tinubu commended troops of the Nigerian Armed Forces for security and actually securing the great nation. He stated that the Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem remains a symbol of remembrance and a beacon of hope for a peaceful future. Elsewhere, the appointment of the new son of Ogbomoso, Oba Gandhi Olaoye, has been overturned by the Oyo State High Court sitting in Ogbomoso. VOP News recalls that the Oyo State government on the 8th of September 2023 announced Pastor Gandhi Olaoye as the new son and made him king. Before this time, one of the contestants, Kabir Olaoye, had sued Gandhi Olaoye, noting that he was not eligible to take son's position. The Oyo State High Court in Ogbomoso at the time had reportedly restrained Governor Seyi Makinde, the Attorney General of the state and Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters, or anyone else from presenting any instrument of office in any form of ceremony or issuing certificate of installation to Olaoye until the final determination of the mandatory injunction already filed before the court. The Ariago High Chief Oshobalaje Otolori, however, disclosed that the kingmakers were not aware of a restraining order by any court. Pastor Gandhi then proceeded into seclusion to commence traditional rites attached to the throne. Now, the Supreme Court has fixed Thursday, October 26, to deliver final judgments in petitions filed by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, and his counterpart in the Labour Party, Peter Obi. VOP News understands that the presidential candidates are challenging the declaration of President Bola Tinubu as the winner of the 2023 presidential election. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had declared Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress as the winner of the keenly contested election. His victory was also affirmed by the Presidential Election Petition Court. Atiku is seeking the removal of President Tinubu from office over alleged forging of his Chicago State University certificate. The Supreme Court's Director of the Press and Information, Dr. Awemere Festus Akonde, today confirmed the date for the ruling on the petitions. He said adequate security arrangements have been put in place to prevent security breaches, both within and outside the court premises. A 7-man panel of justices of the court led by Justice John Inyang Okoro had on Monday taken final arguments from lawyers to parties in the petitions. All the members of the panel are Justices Uwani Abba Aji, Muhammad Lawal Garuba, Adamu Jawaro, Ibrahim Saulawa, Tijani Abubakar, and Emmanuel Agim. Now, contrary to earlier reports, Judge Beryl Howell of the U.S. District Court, District of Columbia, has not stopped the release of Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's files by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is according to an informed source in the United States who quickly reached out to a particular media, News Express, following earlier reports called from The Nation, the Lagos-based daily believed to be owned by President Tinubu. The source, who was insisting that Tinubu's files will be released next week, Monday, October 30, wrote, and I quote, Judge Beryl Howell of the U.S. District Court, District of Columbia, has not stopped FBI and 5 other agencies' release of Bola Tinubu's criminal files. What she inclined was an emergency motion requesting for the files to be released before the initial October 30th scheduled release date. Aaron Greenspan of Plain Sight, an ally of David Hundeyin, had wanted to beat the Nigerian Supreme Court, who are bent on rushing a judgment to affirm the president despite the alleged forgery case at the Chicago State University, by filing an emergency motion for the release of the FBI files before October 30. However, Judge Howell denied the emergency motion, saying granting it would allow Greenspan to jump the line ahead of other similar time-sensitive requests, however, retaining that the FBI release date remains October 30. I have on the telephone a legal practitioner, a social affairs commentator, a political enthusiast, and a public affairs commentator, and that is Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, good evening and welcome to the World News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for having me.
Thank you actually for taking your time to be part of the news. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, tomorrow the Supreme Court will definitely be giving us a final detail or the authentication of who actually won the February 25 presidential elections. Now, when they sat on Monday to hear the arguments from the APC as well as Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party, the People's Democratic Party actually said they had a new evidence to tender at the Supreme Court. The idea for the sit-in was to actually hear if possibly the new evidence they have can be admitted at the Supreme Court. One of the things that the judges mentioned was that they had two conflicting letters from CSU. Now, as to remain, they also reserved judgment which will be communicated later to the petitioners, and that is the parties involved. We got a report today that the Supreme Court will sit tomorrow. Security has been put together to ensure that there is no breach of conduct and there is no uprising whatsoever, whichever way the decision of the Supreme Court turns out tomorrow. However, the U.S. has actually declared that they will be releasing the files on the president from the FBI release will be actually occurring on the 30th of October. Now, critics believe that the Supreme Court hearing tomorrow is rushed to prevent them having access to that particular FBI file. Meaning that if the judgment is done tomorrow and anybody is affirmed as a winner, even if the FBI releases those documents by October 30, it will be of no use. What's your take on this?
I think that position to me is laughable. It's laughable in the sense that there is no connection between that what to be released and the Supreme Court judgment. There is no connection between the two at all. The two are not the same, because even if whatever they release is for the public, it's not for the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will not look at any document or anything outside what is presented before the court. You can see that there's an issue, even the one that has been presented by Elijah Atiku Abubakar, the PDP, the one they've even presented, the court is still looking at whether or not they will accept it. Talk less of the one that is not even before them. So the release of the what's it called report will not in any way affect what is before the court, even if the judgment is not given tomorrow. So for me, I think it's not the correct position to say they just wrong because of the report. They have no connection. It may have a connection regarding public opinion regarding the president,
okay,
but not regarding what is before the court.
All
because
right.
that report is not part of the record or document before the court, and it cannot be taken in again because the case has been argued. Even if it has not been argued, to redeem it, there's no way that will come in.
Okay, so let me reconstruct my question. Now, here is the thing. This Aaron Greenspan, according to Bayo Onanuga, one of the APC spokesperson, he said that the Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party actually lobbied for the assistance of Aaron Greenspan, who is the owner of a particular website called Plain Sight, whereby they're about the transparency of data of any public individual should be out there. Aaron Greenspan was possibly indulged by, that is basically what Bayo Onanuga is saying. He was indulged or egged on by the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party to make sure that the court in the United States accelerates the release of the FBI documents that is presumed to that is supposedly would indict President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The idea is, if they're able to fast-track the release or compel the court to ask the FBI to release the documents they say they had, which they said they would publish from the month of October, Then whatever document is obtained will be used as an evidence at the Supreme Court by Atiku Abubakar, meaning that beyond the CSU certificate, other documents, according to that the FBI has, which will be tendered at the Supreme Court, would be used to possibly nail and authenticate the forgery claim that the PDP says is on about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now here is the would I say conspiracy theory. When this particular report came up that the FBI would release the details on October 30, the conspiracy theory is that the Supreme Court quickly put together the hearing for tomorrow. Now the plan is, or supposedly the conspiracy theory is this. These are what, basically this is in the public space, and so these are the conversations. Critics believe that it was quickly put together, that is the Supreme Court quickly put together the judgment so that when whoever is being affirmed as the president tomorrow, whatever that document says cannot indict the president whatsoever because the affirmation has already been concluded and it will be of no use. So I want to understand, is there a possibility that even if the FBI releases those documents today, that they'll be able to use anything there to use as an evidence at the Supreme Court tomorrow by the PDP or the Labour Party?
Yes, that's what I said, that document cannot be used at the Supreme Court. That evidence cannot be removed. The ground of appeal does not. It may not likely based on what you say appeal. Court of appeal don't just even not only court of appeal, court generally. It's not like a village square meeting where everybody will just come bring this and then you start this discussion or that discussion. There are processes, there are procedures. Once you fail to follow that procedure, once you omitted to do that procedure, it may be further to your case, and that may be the end. The issue of the CSU, that even came within time in a bit, and it was even agreeable because it was part of the issue before the Court of Appeal. I'm talking about the tribunal because they talk about the issue of qualification of the president and they talk about his academic qualifications. So that may be agreeable that they may even consider that one. But the issue of the report from FBI, I am not aware that was part of the case before the tribunal. So if it's not before the case, if it's not a case before the tribunal, whatever the report comes up, even if it comes up before the appeal was had, it will be difficult for anybody to bring it and say, come and rely on this, and then there is part of the case. It doesn't work that way. The court has a process. They have procedures. That's why you see what we call technicality sometimes. It's part of the law. Technically, technicality is that because this is how you should do something. If you fail to do it in that way, that may affect your case and may be thrown out based on that, not even based on the case itself. And that's what we call technicality. So there are procedures, there are processes, and they must be followed. There are some procedures that they call fundamental, that if you fail to abide by them, there's no way you can rectify it. There are some procedures that can be regularized. There are some procedures that can. So you must follow all these procedures. So as far as I'm concerned, as a lawyer, for me, not sentiment, not sentiment, reality, and what is applicable in our system.
Okay.
There is no way that FBI report will affect whether or not, even if it's available today, even if it was available last week, there is no way to affect the petition before the court. It does not have any link between the two. There's no
So whatever conspiracy theory is being formed along this is actually a ruse, because even if it was released today, even if it was released last week, it cannot be tendered at the Supreme Court at all. It would not even affect anything tomorrow.
Yeah, I love what you said. Conspiracy theory.
Yes, a conspiracy theory.
That's what it is. It's just a conspiracy theory by people who may not understand the system, or who want to just state that unnecessary apprehension or tension in the land. As far as I'm concerned, let's see what the Supreme Court will say tomorrow. I have my mind made up already on the position.
Well, what's your mind saying?
No, I don't. Let's leave my mind for me.
Okay.
My mind. I'm not. You know what we got? They say in the Bible. They say if you don't, anyone that does not respect.
Okay.
I don't know how to. All they put it. You know what I'm trying to say.
All right.
If you don't have you are not going to be disappointed.
Okay.
If you are not expecting anything.
All right.
So I'm not expecting anything different from what we have seen before. So I won't be disappointed if I see anything tomorrow.
That's why we have these conversations, to clarify some of these things, because there are reactions whenever any news uploads comes up, and there are several interpretations of it. We try to get experts in the various fields based on the conversation we're having to help us clarify this, because when this story came up, everybody just, reactions came on board.
Like it's just a conspiracy theory. It's just a conspiracy theory.
Okay,
as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Now, here is another aspect again. Now, Bayo Onanuga, beyond what he expressed the last time, has already expressed another one. He wrote in reaction to the Supreme Court ruling tomorrow, said that we in the APC are hopeful for a victory. We are hopeful that the Apex Court will affirm the sanctity of the 8.9 million votes of Nigerians that gave President Bola Tinubu victory last February. And, he said that beyond that, those who are challenging the victory of the All Progressives Congress and its candidate, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do hope that they will put all their doubts to rest after the verdict tomorrow. Now, do you think he is actually being too confident of how tomorrow's ruling will go based on the statement he tweeted, or rather he put out on his X platform?
Of course, they have been confident, because from day one they told us go to court. They told all Nigerians go to court. So if you are not confident, how will you say go to court? You must be confident of what you are saying. Otherwise, you won't say go to court and then like that. You see, the one who talk about this election petition tribunal, you say any APC man talk, that will give you that will be an impression that will come to you as if do they know what already the Supreme Court is doing or what? Because they will tell you, they will argue as if they are also part of the judges, or they are working in line with the in the mind of the judges. So sometimes most of them are confident just because of, I don't know, maybe because they were very sure that tribunal judgment is foolproof, that cannot be overturned. So probably that's what's giving them confidence, that they look at the judgment, they've seen the judgment and say, look, this judgment is watertight, and it will be tough for anybody to overturn it. Maybe that's what's giving them confidence.
All right.
If they are right, confidence. But
now,
I don't know.
The thing is, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, this CSU certificate saga and a couple of other issues that came up afterwards have brought questions on the lips of a lot of Nigerians. They want to understand who indeed is the president that is serving them. They want to have an understanding of his identity. The CSU certificate saga is a situation that has created a wide berth. The people cannot trust anything that comes out from the mouth of any public official of this particular administration. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu assumed office on May 29, he said he wants to run a government of inclusivity, which includes or details the fact that everyone is on board and he is not going to show any form of disparity with any ethnic or religious group. Now, when that particular conversation came on board, a couple of persons thought that the president would decide to begin to heal because of the strenuous events that have taken place in the lives of Nigerians and the administration preceding his. Well, here again is this particular situation. Tomorrow, the Supreme Court is sitting. A couple of Nigerians already feel that there is nothing that will be different from what the Presidential Election Petition Court ruled, which affirmed Bola Tinubu as the president. Other Nigerians are hopeful that the evidence gotten by the PDP may actually alter the presumption that maybe the Supreme Court will rule in the favor of the president. But based on your take and the events, do you think that if at all the FBI is to release these documents, that it will be the responsibility of the National Assembly to poke holes and ask questions? Or do you think the National Assembly will be numb and act like nothing happened?
That is all we should be talking, not about the court. If that FBI report comes out and is damning against the president, that should be the focus of the National Assembly to look into and see whether or not it's a grant to commence an impeachment proceeding against the president. But not for us to say Supreme Court. Supreme Court has nothing to do with this FBI report. So if FBI report is for us to take to consider and say, okay, with this report we are not comfortable with our president. We want something to be done and this and that. So if that is possible, yes, that one I will not say is not normal. It's in line with what is normal.
But do you think the National Assembly, which is their obligation, would actually do that, considering the fact that the Senate president is somebody that has the favor of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Same with the deputy. And obviously, Nigerians feel that, the National Assembly is supposedly a replica of what the president wants, or some persons will call them a rubber stamp in when they describe the persons that were put in there to represent, to lead the National Assembly. So do you think they would take it upon themselves as one of their core responsibility to resolve, the imbroglio by asking questions based on the documents that may be released by the FBI, if these documents will be quite indicting?
This National Assembly and even the one before them, they will not do anything. I will not expect any miracle from them. We have a National Assembly. I'm not even talking about not only this National Assembly. As it is today, the past and then the current one. We most times when we have our National Assembly people, they see themselves as advantages of the executive, particularly the president. So they all like to be in favor in good book of the president, and they'll be doing things to favor the president. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, with the kind of people that we have at the National Assembly today, I will not even think of it. It's not even cross my mind that they will likely take steps to say we want to impeach the president. In fact, they will be the ones to even be defending the report when the report comes. Some of them will be arguing in favor of it and saying no, it's just a mere, it's an effort of his enemy are the one at work. They are the one pursuing it. That kind of thing they normally say. So for me, I will not be deceiving myself, and that's why I say, if you don't expect anything, you won't be disappointed. So I am not even even from tomorrow's judgment, I'm not expecting anything new from the National Assembly to look into the report and take steps or whatever. I will not be expecting anything.
You just gave your own position on how you think the ruling will go tomorrow. But on Monday, actually,
I cannot give anything.
I said you just did. You didn't directly say you just did.
I did not. I only said I'm not expecting anything.
Okay, right.
I have the right to expect.
Okay.
But I won't be disappointed.
Now on Monday, can you help us clarify what Monday's sitting was all about? I thought Monday's sitting was basically about having to hear the petitions or the appeal of the PDP and the Labour Party, and possibly hear on the new evidence they say they want to tender, and if they consider it to be strong enough to be tendered. So if the Supreme Court is going to give us a hearing tomorrow, they're going to decide and close up everything tomorrow, then what was exactly the point of Monday's sitting? Would they tell us if they've admitted that new evidence, and will they rule based on the new evidence that was presented or that, the PDP said they had against the win of President Bola Tinubu?
Answer to all these questions will be given tomorrow. What they did on Monday was to hear the party argument.
Yes.
Of the argument of the party in support of what they file. When you file processes in court, you must come and adopt it. You must come and argue it. You must come. Before now, now the system has changed.
Okay.
Before now, when you see lawyers carry big books go to court, that was the time when you see people coming to court and start talking this and that other argument. That has gone. We now put all those things in writing. Those things were in writing before the courts on Monday. So they just highlight what they did on Monday was to highlight what they have for the court, so that the court will go and look at it. So the argument has been made, and that was what was made on Monday. That argument is what the court now give judgment tomorrow. That we have looked at it, we have read it. These are our position on this. There was argument the argument regarding admissibility of new evidence was on Monday. That was adopted as well. The argument regarding the motion by the APC asking the court to throw away the certain grants of appeal of the PDP were also argued. So all these issues will be given tomorrow. They will be given as preliminary before the main judgment. Those will come first.
So there's
because
a tendency
that will determine certain things.
So
they will give judgment on them tomorrow, and after those judgments have been given, they will now give the proper judgment on the election itself.
So there's a tendency that tomorrow is going to be a long day.
There is possibility.
All right.
There will be judgment based on the what's it called? Because it may not be too long, because unlike appeal where they will have to review the evidence given by the courts by the parties, there won't be review. There won't be too much review. It will just be a review of argument. So it may not be too that long with the compared to what happened at the tribunal. So, but in any event, all the answer to the question we are seeking will be given tomorrow. They will be in that judgment, and then tomorrow will be final judgment. So tomorrow will be the close of the case. Anybody that's not satisfied tomorrow will have to go to our God and appeal.
And wait till 2027.
Or wait till 2027.
All right, Santinja Abdulhamid, thank you so much for taking your time to help share your perspective on the world news at 6. I sincerely do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank
All
you.
right. And now to wrap up the world news at 6, here again are the top stories. You heard that Tinubu appoints 9 INEC resident commissioners. Tinubu launches 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem. Court sacks Gandhi Asong, gives directives to Makinde-led government. Supreme Court to rule on Atiku Obi's petitions October 26. U.S. judge to release Tinubu's FBI files on October 30. That's a wrap on the world news at 6 right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Mwachuku. Good evening and thank you for staying with us.